What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to my boss fight guide for Dark Souls 3. In this episode, we're actually going to be digging into the Ashes of Ariandel DLC, and we're going to tackle Champion Gravetender and Champion Greatwolf boss here at the depths of the painting. So, for this boss is actually a two-part boss fight. One is a humanoid boss, which is going to be Champion Gravetender, and then the Greatwolf is going to spawn in. Now, the Greatwolf will spawn in after a certain amount of time has elapsed. I think it's about a minute or so, but don't quote me on that. So the idea behind this boss fight is that we're going to try and take down the humanoid enemy, the Gravetender, as fast as humanly possible so that we don't have to deal with him and the wolf, because that's no fun, especially on New Game Plus, when you can really get tuned up. So, what I'd recommend you do is get the highest damage weapon that you have available. And so for me, that's going to be the Dragonslater Greataxe. As you can see here, I've got a 783 damage while one-handing, and that's before I buff up with Sacred Oath. As for my shield, I'm going to use a Great Shield, and again, you guys see me using Havels all the time. You don't need Havels, you don't even need a Great Shield. Just keep in mind that when you block with something that's not Havels or a big Great Shield, what's going to happen is your stamina is going to take a bigger hit, and you can get poise broken if you're not careful. So that's just something to keep in mind. So going down to the rings, I have the Havels ring so I can actually roll around with all this heavy gear on. The Hornet ring, and this is going to come into play for the Gravetender. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try to get a couple backstabs in, at least one, and hopefully we can get him down before the Greatwolf spawns in. His health is going to be increased in New Game Plus, so we'll see how it works out. The Lightning Clutch ring to give that Dragonslater Greataxe a little boost, and of course the Hornet ring so we can run around and block and roll a bit better. So as for strategy, like I said, there's really not much to the humanoid enemy. It's just like any other invasion fight. We're just going to try and get him down as quickly as possible. Now the wolf, on the other hand, is a little bit more tricky. He does have some dives, some swipes, kind of your standard beast moveset, and he does do a lot of damage. Now the Havels is going to help us block, so that way we can kind of focus on his attack patterns and not worry too much about rolling. We are still going to try and roll, because again, we don't want to get poise broken during this fight and get messed up. So before we go in here, I'm going to go ahead and buff before we drop down. It's best just to show you guys the fight rather than try and talk you through it. Now I'm actually going to go, since we don't have a weapon buff on this one, let's go ahead and put our Great Magic Shield on to help us out here. We may end up putting it away so we can use our special ability. And let's get to it, guys. So you'll notice you'll see nobody. He's actually right behind these ice rocks. You'll see a wolf here already. I'm actually going to run up to him. I'm going to sacrifice it. See if we can get this off. We can. Now you can see that attack. I did that on purpose. He will blow right through your stamina. See if we can get these wolves in there. Now that is the wolf call. I might. Like I said, this is kind of a good idea why you want to kind of attack this guy. I'm actually going to ignore the wolf for the time being. See his attacks do. Let me see if I can kind of knock on the wolf just a little bit. Be mindful of your health during this. As you can see, it's quite difficult with both of these guys on there. So I'm going to unlock and try to use these pillars to my advantage. That was a good roll from the Gravetender there. Again, you use these pillars to your advantage. I'm going to... Oh. You see just how much damage they do together. Alright, this should finish him off. Alright. Now he's gonna go red eyes now. And again, you can see just how much stamina damage he's doing. You can see he blew right through my stamina there. Use that pillar again. And he is down. So kind of a tough fight, especially on New Game Plus. But these pillars can be used to your advantage. And just try and get that Gravetender down. If you're on New Game and you have the Dragonslater Greataxe, you should be able to get him down before the wolf spawns in. And just like that, it's over. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see you on the next one.